Hi everyone, welcome to this sketchbook session. Today I'm going to be inking and coloring a page in my sketchbook. For the inking I'm going to use a acrylic ink. It's by Liquitex. It's quinacridone magenta, but I'm adding a little bit of India ink to it because I want it to be a bit darker. I like to mix it into a sort of wine color. If I'm not using black, I like to use this wine color as I think it goes very nice with my usual color choices and skin tones. The reason why I like to use acrylic inks for this is because it doesn't smudge very easily, it dries very fast, and so if you go over your lines with your hands, it's usually not a big deal because typically it is already dried, so that's very convenient. I'm a bit clumsy like that, so if you have the same issue sometimes, maybe you can try acrylic inks as well. This is about the third page in this sketchbook, so it's relatively new to me. It's the Strathmore Mixed Media 500 series. I picked this one because it has 100% cotton paper. The paper is on the thinner side. It is 90 lbs or 190 GSM. But I really like the way watercolor behaves on it. The paper does buckle, but it gives a super nice texture to it once the paint dries, so that's why I picked this one up. The paper is smooth enough for inks and pencils, but as I mentioned, it still has a very nice texture when you use watercolors or inks. I think it might be a very nice all-round sketchbook. In Europe, this sketchbook is actually kind of expensive. We do have Strathmore here. Strathmore is a US brand, but this specific sketchbook was a bit hard to come by, and I actually looked for a softcover version, and it was either non-existent or like 45 euros, so that wasn't really an option. But if you are interested in trying a very similar paper to this one, you could also check out the Strathmore Visual Journal series. They have a mixed media version of that one, which also has 100% cotton paper and the same paper weight. I'm not sure if there is a difference between these papers. They do have the same specs, but I have a feeling that this one that I'm currently using, the paper might be slightly thicker and maybe a bit more cream colored, but maybe I'm just imagining things, but both those papers are really nice. And the visual journal one is about half the price of this sketchbook, so it's much more affordable. It is ring bound though, so if you don't like ring bound sketchbooks, it might not be for you. I personally do like ring bound sketchbooks because it's much easier to scan your pages. Like the pages lay down very flat. And some people don't like ring bound sketchbooks because the pages have room to move against each other, so they rub against each other. With some mediums that might be an issue if you do a lot of pencil sketches or colored pencil sketches and stain the other pages or the other drawings. I don't think I've had that much bad experiences with that. So for the watercolors, I'm using Magello Mission Gold watercolors. This one is also relatively new to me, so I was kind of planning on testing out this sketchbook, see how much like water and paint it could actually take. I didn't plan ahead. I thought, this is my sketchbook, I'm going to be a little bit more loose, and I only knew that I wanted to use indigo in the background. It's one of my favorite watercolors, and it being a very nice dark color, I thought I could use it for the background and see how the paper handles it. But I do struggle a little bit with the face. I kept picking up the paint again after I was dabbing it, so it's because these paints or the colors that I picked for the face or for the skin aren't very staining, so I kept picking up the paint that I laid down, so I had to go over it a couple of times. And with the jacket, I initially go for a reddish color, but I didn't feel it matched, and so I covered it with indigo, and in the end I'm not super satisfied, but for a sketchbook it is fine. I think ideally I should have stopped with just the line art and the background. I think that's usually sufficient for your sketchbook. I really like that look, so I might have to draw something again and just do line art and the background. I think that's really nice. So the idea for the sketch, I usually don't really have a very interesting thought process. I just browse some images that I like. I am very inspired by certain fashion elements or like different cultures that you find around the world, and Asia is a big source of inspiration. So I just wanted her to look kind of regal and have lots of accessories, and I definitely think the accessories and the sleeves are inspired by either Chinese or Japanese aesthetic. With the lanterns, I wanted to go, I guess, give it a bit of a science fiction touch. I do like to incorporate those styles into my drawings. So as far as YouTube goes, I have one video up before this, and it's been months ago, and I do apologize. I had set out to, film a lot of my process and edit it and stuff. I do enjoy editing. I kind of struggle with the voiceover, so that's been like a source of procrastination. But also, like, the filming just didn't really happen. I was filming with my tablet, and it's a little bit inconvenient, and then now also my stand broke, like the arm that I used to film with. I have filmed a process with my phone for my next piece, so hopefully the footage is alright and I can start editing that as well. But I would love to do more videos like this. I do have some ideas for other videos as well. I'm a big consumer myself of YouTube videos, like a lot of artists, speed paints and stuff. I really enjoy watching that as well, so hopefully I can, pick up the slack a little bit and get to work. So other ideas for YouTube videos that I had were actually, I thought about talking about how I make my stickers. I have an Etsy shop where I sell stickers, and they are like, well, not just stickers, I sell prints and originals, but also stickers. And the sticker seems to be the most popular item, so the best seller, I guess. And they can be pretty easy to make. So I thought about making a video about that. I used to hand cut them, print them by myself, and I recently, or a couple of months ago, I invested in a Cricut machine that cuts paper for me. So that was a bit of an investment, but I think definitely worth it, because hand cutting is, it's fine and I really enjoy doing it, but it's also very tiring on the hands, and if you are drawing a lot as well, it's really straining on your hands as well, so it's just too much for one hand to take. But stickers are nice to talk about, I think, and a lot of people are curious about how you do stuff like that, what paper do you use, and I thought it might be interesting to see how that is made. And other than that, maybe like more art videos talking about supplies, or maybe reviewing supplies, maybe even challenges, all that good stuff. If you have any ideas of what you'd like to see from me, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see if I can make it work. For the final details, I'm using a Posca pen in white. I'm using the colored pencils that I use for the sketch, so it's a Colorase pencil in rose. It's one of my favorite colors, as well as Tuscan red. Those two, I think they go together very well, and I usually add them for a little bit of blush or deepening some shadows, and the Tuscan red one I think goes great with like lips and around the eyes. Almost has like a warm eyeshadow color. And other than that, I'm using a gold pen just for some minor detailing. So that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this speed paint in my sketchbook. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!